For today's art lesson, you are going to need your sketchbook, a pencil, an outlining marker, and something to color with like crayons, markers, or colored pencils. Today you are going to learn about the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe was born in the late 1800s and worked into the early 1900s. Here is a picture of a piece of art called Red Poppy that she created in 1927. Georgia O'Keeffe was an American artist who painted nature in a way that showed how it made her feel. She was an important female artist and one of the first female artists to gain respect in New York in the art world in the 1920s. She had a unique way of painting nature. Notice in this picture of the flower, the picture is very up close, so we're seeing right into the center of the flower. This real flower in real life might not be this big, but she makes it look very big by painting it all the way to the edges of the picture and making us have an up-close view of the flower. We see the flower in a different way than we would if we were just walking past it outside. Her paintings almost look a little bit abstract, which means they don't look very realistic, but we can still tell what it is. When we look at this, we can tell that it is a picture of a red poppy. Today, you are going to create an up-close picture of a flower. We are going to work in this style of Georgia O'Keeffe. To start our lesson, we are going to lay our paper the long way. I'm going to start in the center with the center of my flower. So I'm drawing a circle that's about the size of a quarter and then adding a second circle around it. Then I'm going to add in the first layer of petals. We are going to be overlapping like we've been practicing. So I'm drawing my first layer of petals around my circle. Next, I'm going to go from the center of one of my petals to the center of the other. So if I was a person jumping from hill to hill here, I'd be jumping from the center of one hill to the center of the other hill. Now I chose to make mine rounded. You could make yours pointy. You could make them more oval and have more petals if you want to. But we're just practicing, again, that jumping from center to center on that outside edge of each of those shapes to create that overlapping. Now I'm going to add some petals. You can add these how you want. They can be ovals. You could add stems with petals on them. I'm kind of creating these pointed ovals with my lines in them so that they look like leaves coming off of the flower. I'm putting 4 in. You might not have room for 4. I just had empty corners, so I decided to fill that space in with those leaves. Once you have all of your lines drawn for your flower, then we are going to trace with a black felt tip or Sharpie or crayon, and then erase any pencil lines that you can see. Now we're going to think about color. I'm going to think about my warm colors and my cool colors. My cool colors are those blues, greens, and purples, and those warm colors are those yellows, oranges, and reds. In my markers, I also have pink, which is a warm color. I am deciding if I want my flower to be warm or if my flower is going to be cool. I chose to use warm colors to color inside my flower. So all of my petals are going to be either red, yellow, or orange. If you are using crayons, you're going to have a lot more choices. There are about 10 warm colors and about 10 cool colors in a box of 24 Crayola crayons. So if you have those and want to have more variety, you can use those. Otherwise, with my markers, I'm just going to stick with my 4 warm colors for the inside of my flower. When it came to the leaves, I decided that even though the leaves are really a part of the flower, I still wanted them to be green. So I still used my green on my leaves, even though it's a cool color. Now I'm going to use my cool colors, my blues, greens, and purples, to color in my background. I am just going to choose one color for this background, and I chose purple. So I'm going to color that cool color in, and it will contrast or stand out against the warm colors of my flower, and it will make my flower stand out even more than if I had chosen a warm color. Once you have finished your picture, make sure and take a picture of it and upload it to Artsonia so that your art teacher can see it.